Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. As you can see, today's video is another time to go video, and it's a player that I really do not want to say goodbye to, but it might be time to let him go. There'll be a lot of people that are on the fence about this one, a lot of people that will want him gone, and a lot of people that will want him to stay. It's a very controversial one, and it's Anthony Martial, our number 9. There's a lot of people that are part of Martial FC. Ricky is its #1 supporter. I am part of that club as well. I've loved Martial ever since he's been at the club. I've stuck by him through all of these years, but it's times like this where we think, is it best to sell this player and let him move on? And is it best for Manchester United to move on and get somebody else in? Because as a number 9 for Manchester United, you need to be playing more games than this guy is, and you need to be providing a lot more as well. Quality player, but cannot stay fit for the life of him. And talking about not being able to stay fit, 20 out of 34 games Anthony Martial has missed this season through injury. And it's unfortunate because he's so good when he plays and he helps the team out so much when he plays. I mean, Anthony Martial scores again. Anthony Martial's injured again should be the new song. Every single game this guy gets an injury, and it's so frustrating for Erik ten Hag. And as a manager, when you're trying to plan your games and when you're trying to plan lining up with different oppositions and you're trying to plan for the future, to have a player that's constantly injured with different injuries, it must be so frustrating. It's frustrating for the fans, and it must be frustrating for the manager and the coaches as well, and also for the player himself. I mean, how somebody can have this many injuries is, honestly, the mind boggles me. It really does. It reminds me a little bit of Zaha when he kind of had them injuries and was riddled with them and couldn't get rid of them, and this is what it feels like with Anthony Martial. I've had a few people speak to me actually saying the reason why he's always injured is because he doesn't take care of himself, because he doesn't look after himself, because he's not doing the right things. I think that is a little bit harsh myself. 100% nutrients, what you're doing outside the football pitch, getting the right sleep, following what the coaches say, following the nutritionists, following the fitness experts is a massive part to play on whether you're going to stay fit or not. But the amount of injuries that Martial has had, it's something that's due to his body, to his physique, something that's happened in the past, and he is just one of them players that is made of glass now. He's massively injury prone. And he's 26, 27 years old as well. To be like this when you're meant to be in your prime, it's really unfortunate for Man United, and it's unfortunate for Martial as well. I mean, we've been saying Martial has had so much potential now for the years that he's been at the club, and he's been at the club since he's 18. He's been here for ages now, and he still hasn't reached that full potential. Martial actually did an interview saying the reason he's injured often is because Ollie overplayed him through injury. I mean, Ollie overplayed a lot of people for injury. I mean, Rashford, it was the same as well, but Rashford's kind of managed to bounce back. Martial hasn't, and this is why you've got to be really careful with players as well. In the likes of Erik ten Hag, I don't think he would ever do that. When a player's injured, he's injured. He won't play them. So hopefully with Martial, he can kind of start to find his feet again, but it's not looking good. It's like the second he's back, he's gone again. He's like, he only plays every so often. You can never rely on him. For me, he's just one of them players where if he's fit, it's a massive bonus for us, but you never can rely on him. But all the games Martial has played under Erik ten Hag this season, Manchester United have won them all. They have not lost any apart from one. And the one is the Manchester derby that was at the Etihad. And some would say you can't include Martial in that stat because obviously half-time, Martial came on and we ended up winning that half and we scored 3 goals. When Martial came on, we played so much better and we looked like we were more of a threat. We defended better from the front, and people will say Ricky will be one of the main ones. He helps the team that much that he makes that much of a difference. I was one of the people saying if he was fit for Arsenal, we might have had a better chance when we're at the Emirates. So I think with Martial, you've got to look, every time he plays, the team do seem to play really well. And you could see that in the first game at the Etihad, we were down and out by half-time. He came on and we actually seemed a lot more lifted and the team seemed to play better. I'm a massive advocate of Martial, and the manager really likes him as well. And as you can see here, in the big games, he does seem to turn up and he does seem to do well. He's got an amazing record against City. He's got the most goals against City than anybody in our team. Actually, he has more than Rashford, and Rashford's second most, but Martial has the most goals. He is up there, and Ten Hag had nothing but good stuff to say about him after we played the derby at Old Trafford, which kind of kicked on our restart to the season, and Martial was a massive part of that as well, and it went under the radar. Erik ten Hag was saying he was one of the main factors of why we won that game. The work he did on Rodri in the first half was unbelievable. He completely shut Rodri out of the game through his pressing, and that means Manchester City didn't really get many chances because it usually all stems from Rodri. And his work rate in that game and his intelligence actually went massively under the radar. A lot of people thought he wasn't immediately pressing because he wasn't constantly running around the pitch, but you could see the difference. When Anthony came on and actually started to do that, the team looked worse. Sometimes you've got to have the intelligence and know how to press, and Martial is an incredibly talented and intelligent footballer in that sense as well. So for the team, he works really well. A lot of people saying when Weghorst came in, he's the typical out-and-out number 9 that you would kind of want. He can do stuff that Martial can't do. I actually disagree. I think we were a lot better when Martial plays, a lot better. Martial is quicker on the ball. There's certain clips of him where he takes the ball down on his chest, brings it down, dribbles past players and passes it off. That is just absolutely class, that not many other players can do. And I've seen Martial do that numerous times. He's got brilliant relationships on the pitch. His relationship with Rashford is amazing. We've had this thing for years where Martial and Rashford, kind of in their prime when they're playing at their best, are one of the best duos. And they are. They play super well and together, and Rashford always looks better when Martial plays as well. I mean, Rashford's just been phenomenal this season, but Martial is really kind of that unselfish centre forward that plays off all of the front three. Him and Bruno have a special relationship. We've talked about that over the course of the season since Bruno came in. I mean, when Martial had his best scoring season, which was that season under Ollie when we were in that lockdown, Martial and Bruno had an amazing relationship, and Martial was scoring a lot of goals, Bruno was providing the assists, and also we've seen him work really well with Sancho recently as well. Not as recently, because obviously Sancho has been off the radar, but in pre-season, at the start of the season, him and Sancho were linking up really well, and Martial is a technically gifted player. So he's kind of, people would nickname him, he's the glue. He's the glue at times, and he draws players in. Players can play off him, players can make runs in behind him, and he usually always finds the right pass, and he's very good at decision making as well. I would say he's probably one of our most unselfish forwards. If the right pass is on, he will pass it rather than shooting, and I think that's a really good quality to have that can help the team also as well. But yeah, we've seen it a lot this season of people like, why is Martial not making the running behind? Why is Martial not making the running behind? If you watch the whole game and you watch what's actually going on, Martial's coming in, pressing and dragging the players out. Rashford's making that running behind, and it's worked to get us a lot of goals this season. Kick-started off at Liverpool. He was a massive factor in that as well at Anfield when we kind of got the ball to Martial. He came off the bench after being injured, surprise, surprise, and he got the ball, passed it off to Rashford, and we ended up winning that game 2-1. So he was a massive part to play in the kick-start of Erik ten Hag's kind of brilliant era that he started this season with Manchester United. So he has got a lot of qualities, I think, that people don't usually see. His hold-up play, his link-up play, it's just his team play overall, and how intelligent and defensively astute he is, I think really is a positive for the team. But the reports are coming out that Erik ten Hag is sick of Martial being injured, and that he wants to bring in an out-and-out number 9 in the summer, and he's prepared to sell Martial. This is one thing you can say about Martial. He's not the typical out-and-out number 9 like Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. He isn't like that. Harry Kane and Erling Haaland are absolutely top number 9s, world-class number 9s in the Premier League, that they just have everything. They have everything. I mean, Harry Kane doesn't have pace, but he makes up for that in so many different departments. And I think that's the type of forward that Erik ten Hag wants to bring in. You can see a very, very B-Tech version in that in Weghorst. That's no disrespect to Weghorst. He's like, you know when you get A-list celebrities and you get Z-list? Weghorst is on the Z-list section there, and these are the A-list. But he's that type of player. He had it with Haller when he was at Ajax as well. So that's the type of person that Erik ten Hag will want to bring in to be his number 9. And he wants someone that's going to be fit. He wants someone that's going to be reliant. Martial isn't that typical number 9 where if you hang the ball up in the box, he's going to get above all the defenders and he's going to head it into the back of the net. He is more of that glue, kind of false 9-ish number 9 that he's going to link up play really, really well, but he isn't maybe going to be that out-and-out centre forward that's going to tower over defenders and kind of really intimidate him in that way. He's much more technically gifted and is a little bit more kind of agile and tricky when it comes to how he plays as a centre forward. He's got the hold-up play, but he just isn't as dominant as figures like this are, like Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. And people would say, on the trajectory that Manchester United's on and what we've had in the past with the Van Nistelrooys, with the Cantonas, with the Van Persies, Manchester United should be getting in one of these centre-forwards to come in, regardless whether Martial stays or leaves. And I have to agree with that. I think we need an out-and-out centre-forward, and I would love to bring someone of this calibre in and this dynamic to come into this team. I think they'd work brilliantly under the likes of Bruno and Sancho and Eriksen and all these players we've got that can play, even Casemiro, blinding passes. I think Harry Kane or Erling Haaland would thrive in a Man United side. Osimhen could be on the card. So getting some money in off Martial to bring in a figure like that, I think could be really, really positive, and it's definitely going to improve the team. And you know what they say, the best ability is availability, and Martial just hasn't seemed to have that. So to get someone in that can do the stuff that he can, but as well be available every game, it is sort of a no-brainer. But my thoughts on this, personally for me, a lot of people saying sell Martial. Even the manager that loves Martial is debating selling Martial because he's fed up of him. But personally for me, I would actually keep him, because I don't think anyone is going to buy him for the price that he's worth in summer with the injuries that he's had. And I think if we buy an out-and-out number 9 anyway, which I assume we are going to, Osimhen's been touted, Vlahovic, Harry Kane's been touted, that we're going to get them in anyway. So if Martial's fit, as I say, I always see him as a bonus player. He can be that bonus player. There isn't pressure on him to be constantly fit. There isn't pressure on Erik ten Hag to be planning games around him, whether he's going to have him or not. The striker that we get in is the striker that's going to play every game, whether that will be Harry Kane, whether that will be Victor Osimhen. And then if Martial's fit, that is a bonus. It's depth. You need depth. And he's a very talented player. He's not someone that is just going to be there and be a bystander. He will come in and he will contribute. So personally for me, I would keep him, but it's up to you guys what you think is going to happen. And obviously Erik ten Hag and Manchester United as well, what will happen this summer. I think we could see him definitely depart from the club, but also 200 grand a week with constant injuries. Is there really going to be many takers? Let me know in the comments what you think the future holds for Anthony Martial, and do you agree with the points I've made here? I know a lot of people are very kind of have different viewpoints on this topic, but I am in the Martial fan club and I personally would want him to stay. But get in the comments down below what you think. It is so unfortunate with his injuries, but it's the way that things are. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we have more of these videos coming every single week for you guys, so get in your comments down below. We'll see you on the next one.